I started a new recording. Okay, so COVID hit during your guys' sophomore year, right? End of
Um,
sophomore?
yeah.
How much did you immediately get school shut down?
Yeah, we were on spring break when everything started happening, so they just extended our spring break and told us to stay home, and then they kept extending it, and we didn't end up coming back to school until I think like late June.
And so you weren't on campus during this whole time?
Right, no, we were just at home and doing classes online.
Was the turnaround fast for how quick they could get everything put online? All the curriculum?
Um, it took about a week, I think, like from when they initially decided that we weren't coming back, and then they realized that we had to do classes online. They gave us an extra week off so that the teachers could like plan everything and transition their courses from being in person to online.
Yeah. Were there any summer responsibilities or duties you guys were supposed to be held to, or were those just waived? Or were there any?
While we were at home, those were pretty much just waived, so it was just like doing your classes online. That was kind of your only responsibility, and there wasn't really any like military things that we had to do.
I was still grinding out plenty of division work because we were still trying to finish the yearbook at that time.
You were still trying to finish the what?
Finish the yearbook,
Oh, okay.
and I was just like doing it from home, trying to get up all those pictures from everybody, and finish up the yearbook when nobody was doing anything.
During
Made it
like
a little
this,
more challenging.
during the spring break slash summer break.
Yeah, it was the extended spring break, and we were coming to the end of like the yearbook deadline that was going to be at the end of the year. And we were trying to finish up all these like sports pages and club pages and stuff, but nobody's doing any activities. So we were trying to fill it in with like what people were doing over quarantine, um, any virtual stuff they were doing. So like for sailing, we ended up putting uh, that we were having like virtual regattas
Yeah.
on this like online software on our yearbook page.
What is a virtual regatta?
Just like a little video game you play.
Did you guys stream it?
Yeah, we like all got on the Twitch chat and played some virtual regatta.
Oh, that's really nice, actually.
Also, yearbook is my military duty, by the way.
Oh, okay. So you
It's
could
not. I
manage
don't just
that.
do it for fun. It's like it's a required thing that I have to do.
Okay, I actually had no idea about that. So with like a break that was significantly longer than probably any school break you've had in your life, was it enjoyable for the most part, or was it just more stress trying to do this stuff and finish the year?
I really enjoyed it, and like for me, doing online classes wasn't really that much of a challenge, and it was nice to like be home and see my family and be able to spend time with them like after finishing my online classes each day.
Yeah, being in a less stressful environment helped a lot.
Yeah.
Like you'd be like watching all your classes from your room, and you'd spend like the 15 minutes doing it. There'd be no transit time. You could go straight from class to studying or whatever. You're like surrounded by nice people. Made it much easier to study. Just overall better for like relaxing, I suppose, and kind of getting in the groove.
Yeah, just like a much needed off-campus break.
Yeah.
Um, so when that break was actually over, what were like the biggest differences, if there were even any, besides like masks when you guys came back to school actually on campus for your
I mean,
junior?
right when we got back, it was like late June, and they had us have like a 2-week restriction of movement period. So, like, yes, everyone wore masks, but like we weren't allowed to really leave our rooms except to like go eat, and they would just have pre-packaged meals for us, or you could go outside and work out, but only by yourself. So, like, for the most of that 2 weeks, you're pretty much just in your room with your roommate, not really doing much.
Do you think during this times, like specifically this time you're really just cooped up in your room, like do you think attitude and morale are at an all-time low?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. I think people really miss, like, doing fun things on campus or off campus. Obviously, we weren't allowed to leave base, or just seeing friends and stuff like that.
We were like seeing no one for a while, like literally just your roommate all the time. Every single meal, it'd be just your roommate. If I liked my roommate well enough, but I can't imagine what would happen if you didn't like them.
Yeah.
You don't get super free choice. Like, it's kind of just assigned to you, and you're spending literally 24 hours a day with them.
Did you guys all get off at the same time since you all were expected to show up at the same time for the 2-week quarantine?
Yeah, it was the same for everyone.
Okay. For your junior year, when you came back, were there any specifics for that year of school that you were like excited for that kind of got canceled, or anything that was special about being a second class?
Ocean racing.
Oh yeah.
My summer got like completely changed. I was supposed to go sail instead of, or I guess in addition to, but kind of instead of being a training cadre. I was gonna like miss a lot of stuff to go on this sailing tour up and down the East Coast, and they ended up canceling that, obviously, because it was like a big sporting event. No way that was gonna happen. So
Yeah.
I ended up kind of just doing the same thing everyone else did, which was also pretty altered from the normal. Like, Claire can talk more about it. But we all had this similar training program that was sort of abbreviated. We spent a couple days doing things that were supposed to take a week.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So I was like a training cadre for the incoming class, and it was really different than what it normally is because there were just a lot of like guidelines, and it was still kind of when everyone was figuring out what was supposed to be done according to the CDC. So like it started off where the like incoming class, like, they have to wear masks while they're working out, and then like the next day they were like, oh no, they do have to wear masks. And then there were like weird rules, like one day they decided that they weren't allowed to run anymore, or just kind of like last minute changes like that. That was just coming from the higher ups, I guess, as they tried to like interpret what would be best with COVID. So that was just an interesting environment, and a lot different than, I mean, like what our swab summer looked like. Just a lot more restrictions and a lot less things that the swabs were able to do. And then when I wasn't being a training cadre, we were supposed to go to like an air station in North Carolina for a whole week, and obviously we couldn't travel, so it just got shortened down to like driving up to an air station in Massachusetts for 2 days. So yeah, like basically everything was shortened and just a lot more restrictions.
Yeah.
They invented new ones for us too, because like they couldn't have all. There's only one air station that was close enough for us to drive to in our little cadet minivans that we have, because we couldn't fly. Normally they fly people out all over the country. They'll send people to like Jacksonville, Florida, or like Alabama. But the only place we had that we could drive to was Cape Cod, and they couldn't fit everybody in, so they had to quickly invent new programs to do instead of that. So we got like, they invented a fisheries training for us, and I don't think they'd ever done it before. But honestly, it was pretty fun. Like, they took us to this like headquarters building, small headquarters, like they call it a sector, and showed us fishing nets, and the fishing training people came down and pulled out a bunch of dead fish and let us look at them. help identify with like victories, law enforcement and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess it was pretty like adaptable of them, and good they could get something going in such short order that was fit the bill of the travel restrictions we had under COVID.
I'm sorry. Being in the unique position where you guys are both cadre and you got to experience a normal first year or a normal freshman year, are you worried at all that like they're not going to be fully prepared for just the second year of college, like how hard it's going to be when everything's back to normal?
Personally, I'm not really worried. I've heard some of my classmates say that they are, but I think that like this year's freshmen, they had like a very different freshman year and a very different swab summer than what previous classes have had. But like, in my opinion, I don't think it was any less difficult. Like they had just had different challenges with COVID, and like they didn't even have a spring break, obviously. So it's like different challenges, but I think it was still very challenging for them. And I think that they still got like all the required experiences that they would need to be successful.
Yeah, swab summer is always hard. I like Claire said, it was just a little differently hard, but we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. And how things are now, getting ready for like, or I guess you guys already are done with the school year. Are things seemingly back to normal with all the responsibilities you have as a junior, or like, are they relatively back to normal?
Like for the upcoming year?
Yeah, and the summer you have now, everything you have to do now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they just made us stop wearing masks at the academy and pretty much all of Coast Guard bases throughout the country. So I think that everything is pretty much going to go back to normal, especially by the time we get back to school in August.
And are you worried at all about your senior year with all these experiences you missed out on, like all this traveling and stuff? I don't know if that really would have helped anything related to school, but like any hands-on activities that you missed out on?
No, not really. Like, I think our class didn't really miss a lot. I know other classes had to miss graduation obviously and like dances and stuff like that, but nothing that's like important to our education or anything.
It was just less enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's more than long enough. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
You finished it?
Huh?
Ooh.